The soft clink of crystal glasses filled the grand dining hall of the Moretti mansion. Victor, the razor. Moretti sat at the head of the table, his presence commanding respect from every person in the room. His reputation wasn't built on kindness, it was carved through blood, loyalty, and fear. But tonight, something would shake his carefully constructed world. Little Mia, his 3-year-old daughter, sat quietly beside him. She hadn't spoken a single word since her mother's death 18 months ago. The doctors called it selective mutism. Trauma had stolen her voice. Victor had tried everything money could buy, but nothing broke through her silence. Until tonight. Isabella moved between the tables with practiced grace, her waitress uniform a stark contrast to the luxury surrounding her. She kept her eyes down, doing her job without drawing attention. That's how she'd survived this long, being invisible. But as she placed a plate before Victor, Mia's head suddenly snapped up. The little girl's eyes widened with recognition, her small finger extending toward Isabella. "Mama!" The word hung in the air like a gunshot. Conversations stopped, glasses froze mid-toast. Victor's face hardened into granite as his gaze locked onto Isabella. What did she say? His voice was barely above a whisper, but it carried the weight of a threat. Isabella's face paled. For just a moment, a fraction of a second, recognition flashed across her features before she composed herself. "I'm sorry, sir. I don't know why—" "Mama!" Mia said again, more insistent this time, reaching out toward Isabella with both hands, her eyes filled with longing. Victor's captains exchanged glances. His authority was being challenged in the most unexpected way, by his own daughter. "Everyone out," Victor commanded. "Not you," he added, his eyes never leaving Isabella's face as his guests quickly filed out. When they were alone, he stood slowly, his movements controlled but radiating danger. "Who are you?" He circled Isabella like a predator. "My daughter hasn't spoken in over a year, yet she looks at you and calls you Mama. Explain." Isabella's hands trembled slightly. "I'm just a waitress, Mr. Moretti. I've never met your daughter before." But Mia was now standing on her chair, arms outstretched toward Isabella, tears forming in her eyes. "Don't lie to me," Victor growled, stepping closer. "Something about you triggered my daughter, and I want to know what." Isabella's eyes darted to the exit, calculating, but Victor's men blocked every escape route. "You're not leaving until I get answers." In that moment, past and present collided in a way no one could have predicted. And what happened next would change all their lives forever. This is just the beginning, and I know you're already invested. You can't leave these characters hanging, can you? Subscribe now so you won't miss how this story unfolds. You're already here. Don't turn away now. Victor's private office was a testament to power, dark mahogany, leather, and the subtle scent of expensive cologne. Isabella sat rigid in a chair across from him, Mia clinging to her despite Victor's attempts to separate them. "Start talking," Victor demanded, pouring himself a drink. His voice was deceptively calm, the kind of calm that preceded violence. "How does my daughter know you?" "I told you, I've never met her before tonight," Isabella insisted, though her eyes betrayed something deeper. "Children sometimes fixate on strangers. It happens." Victor's laugh was cold. "My daughter hasn't spoken since her mother died, not a single word to me, to her nanny, to the countless doctors. Then you walk in and suddenly she finds her voice? That's not random fixation." Isabella glanced down at Mia, who had nestled against her side, small fingers clutching Isabella's uniform. The little girl looked at peace for the first time in Victor's recent memory. "Maybe I remind her of someone," Isabella offered quietly. Victor leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "Like who?" "Her mother. Elena has been dead for 18 months. Pain flashed across his features before hardening back to steel. "What's your connection to my family?" Isabella hesitated, then met his gaze. "I'm her aunt." The glass in Victor's hand cracked under pressure. "Elena had no sisters." "Half-sister, different fathers. We were estranged when you met her," Isabella said, her voice strengthening. "Elena and I reconnected before Mia was born. I helped care for her during the first year." Impossible. I would have known. Would you? Isabella challenged. How often were you home during that first year? How many business trips took you away for weeks? Elena was lonely. She reached out to me. Victor's expression darkened dangerously. If what you're saying is true, where have you been since Elena died? Why abandon Mia when she needed family most? Isabella's composure cracked slightly. I had to disappear. After Elena's death, there were threats. I thought I was protecting Mia by staying away. Threats from whom? Victor demanded. From inside your organization, Isabella whispered. Someone didn't want me around, asking questions about how Elena really died. Victor's entire body tensed. What are you implying about my wife's death? Before Isabella could answer, the door opened. Victor's most trusted lieutenant stood there holding a file. Boss, we found something. This woman is definitely connected to Elena. Victor's eyes never left Isabella's face. And Mia recognized you instantly, blood calling to blood. Isabella gently stroked Mia's hair as the child drifted to sleep against her. She remembers me. Children never truly forget. Victor studied them both, calculation replacing rage in his eyes. You're not leaving this house until I know everything. You've seen how high the stakes are now, but this is just the beginning. What happens next will change everything. Subscribe now and stay with us. You won't want to miss what's coming. Can you walk away now, knowing you've come this far? Morning light streamed through the windows of Victor's study as his lieutenant, Marco, spread photographs across the mahogany desk. Each image confirmed Isabella's story, pictures of her with Elena, with baby Mia, at family moments Victor had missed while building his empire. She's telling the truth, boss, Marco said quietly. Their mother's death certificate lists both women, and Isabella lived in Elena's guest house for the first 14 months of Mia's life. Victor stared at a photo of Isabella holding newborn Mia, Elena smiling beside them. His wife had kept this sister a secret from him. Why? What made her disappear? Victor asked, his voice unnaturally calm. Marco hesitated. 2 weeks after Elena's death, someone broke into Isabella's apartment. Left this. He slid across a photo of a dead rose with a note. Forget what you saw or join her. Victor's fist came down hard on the desk. Someone in my organization threatened my wife's sister. Find out who. When Isabella entered, she carried Mia on her hip. The little girl clung to her, eyes bright with recognition and trust that had been absent for 18 months. You should have come to me, Victor said, pushing the threat photo toward her. Isabella's face paled. You weren't exactly approachable after Elena died, and I couldn't be sure. Who sent it? You thought it was me? His voice was dangerously soft. I didn't know what to think. Elena had been telling me she was afraid, that she'd discovered something. Isabella stopped, glancing at Mia. Victor understood immediately. Marco, take Mia for breakfast. After they left, Isabella's composure cracked. Elena called me the night she died, said she'd found something in your financial records, something that scared her. She was going to confront you, and then… She couldn't finish. And then her car went off the road. Victor completed, eyes dark with memory. You think I killed my wife? I don't know what to believe anymore. Victor moved closer, his presence intimidating yet somehow protective. I loved Elena. I'm going to find who threatened you and who really caused her accident. But I need your help with Mia. Isabella looked up, surprised. What? She's speaking again because of you. Stay. Help her heal. His expression softened fractionally. Help me give her back her voice. A decision hung in the balance. Trust the dangerous man before her or flee again. I'll stay, Isabella finally said. For Mia, but we do this my way. You can feel the weight of their shared loss, the suspicion and pain that divides them, but this is only the beginning of their journey together. Don't you want to see if they can heal these wounds? Subscribe now to witness what happens when past secrets and present dangers collide. The east wing of the Moretti mansion became Isabella's new home, close enough to care for Mia, yet distant enough from Victor. Her conditions had been simple: complete access to Mia, freedom to come and go, and protection. Victor had agreed with unexpected ease. "Your room," Victor said, opening double doors to a suite that rivaled luxury hotels. "Mia's is connected through that door." Isabella ran her hand along silk bedding. "This is excessive." "Nothing is excessive for Mia's happiness," Victor replied, watching her closely, "or her family's safety." The unspoken tension between them crackled like electricity. Enemy, ally, family. Their relationship defied simple labels. That evening, Victor's captains gathered in the dining room, voices dropping when Isabella entered with Mia. Dante, Victor's second-in-command, made no effort to hide his displeasure. "So we're just welcoming strangers into our home now?" he challenged, eyes cold on Isabella. Victor's response was immediate. "She's family, Elena's sister." "That makes her under our protection." "Family we never knew existed," Dante countered. "Convenient timing, wouldn't you say, when we're negotiating with the Cabreras?" Mia broke the tension, pointing to Dante. "Bad," she said clearly, her second word since Isabella's arrival. The room fell silent before Victor's unexpected laugh broke the tension. "Smart girl," he said, ruffling his daughter's hair. Later, as Isabella tucked Mia into bed, the little girl spoke again. "Mama stay?" Isabella's heart twisted. "I'm staying, sweetie, but I'm not—" "You're her aunt," Victor said from the doorway, his frame filling it completely. "But right now, you're what she needs." After Mia fell asleep, Isabella found herself alone with Victor in the hallway. "Your man Dante doesn't trust me." "Dante doesn't trust anyone," Victor replied. "But he's loyal." "Is he?" Isabella challenged. "Elena mentioned him in our last conversation, said he was handling accounts she wasn't supposed to see." Something dangerous flickered in Victor's eyes. "I'll look into it." As Victor walked away, Isabella felt the weight of her decisions pressing down. She slipped into her room and retrieved a burner phone hidden in her belongings. "It's me," she whispered after dialing. "I'm in. But this isn't what we expected. He didn't kill Elena. I think someone in his organization did." The voice on the other end was clear. "Remember why you're there, Isabella. Don't let your feelings cloud your judgment. Get the evidence, or we can't protect you." As she ended the call, Isabella didn't notice the shadow passing beneath her door. Someone had been listening. You've seen how deep the deception goes now. Isabella has secrets Victor doesn't suspect, and danger surrounds them both. You're already invested in their story. Can you really walk away now without knowing what happens next? Subscribe to see if their reluctant alliance will turn to love or destruction. She's a liability. Dante's voice cut through the tense atmosphere of Victor's private meeting room. Around the mahogany table, Victor's 5 captains shifted uncomfortably as their second-in-command continued. "She appears out of nowhere after 2 years, claims to be family, and we just welcome her in?" Victor remained stone-faced, fingers steepled before him. "You question my judgment, Dante?" "I question her story." Dante slid a folder across the table. "She's made 3 calls on a burner phone since arriving. And there's a gap in her history, 8 months where she disappears completely." Victor's expression didn't change, but his eyes darkened. "Perhaps hiding from whoever threatened her. Or perhaps working for the Cabrera family," Dante countered. "Their territory expansion began exactly when she vanished." The room fell silent. The Cabreras were Victor's most dangerous rivals, responsible for 3 failed attempts on his life in the past year. "Watch her," Victor finally said, "but discreetly. She stays for Mia's sake." Across the mansion, Isabella sat with Mia in the garden, watching the little girl arrange flowers with growing confidence. In just 3 days, Mia had spoken more words than she had in 18 months. "Aunt Bella," Mia said softly, the new name they'd agreed upon to avoid confusion. "Pretty flower for you." Isabella's heart ached with conflicting emotions. Her mission here was clear: find evidence of Victor's crimes for the FBI, who promised her protection in exchange. But Mia's innocent love was an unexpected complication. That night, passing Victor's office, Isabella overheard voices. "Make an example of him," Victor commanded coldly. "Anyone who steals from me loses more than money." Isabella froze, reminded sharply of exactly who Victor Moretti was beneath his devoted father facade. A killer. A criminal. The man the FBI was desperate to bring down. Later, while Mia slept, Isabella slipped into Victor's study, carefully searching for any files related to Elena's death. The official report claimed brake failure caused her car accident, but Elena's frightened phone call suggested something more sinister. Her fingers found a locked drawer. Just as she attempted to pick it, the lights flicked on. "Looking for something?" Victor's voice was deadly quiet. Isabella straightened, refusing to show fear. "The truth about how my sister died." "You should have asked." His eyes never left hers as he approached, unlocking the drawer with a key from his pocket. He removed a file and handed it to her. "I've been looking for answers, too." The file contained police reports, autopsy findings, and private investigator notes, all suggesting Elena's death wasn't accidental. "You didn't cause her accident," Isabella whispered, surprised by her own relief. "No." Victor's face hardened. "But someone wanted her dead, and I think it was someone close to us." Isabella looked up, suddenly aware of how near he stood. "Why show me this?" "Because," Victor said, his voice dropping, "I need to know if I can trust you, Isabella. Can I?" The question hung between them, weighted with unspoken complications. "This is just the beginning, and I know you're already invested. You can't leave these characters hanging, can you? Subscribe now so you won't miss how this story unfolds. You're already here. Don't turn away now." Chapter 6. Bullets Don't Lie. Danger strikes. Sunday morning dawned bright and clear. Against his security team's advice, Victor had agreed to take Mia to the park, a small attempt at normalcy. Isabella came along, her presence non-negotiable as far as Mia was concerned. "Higher, Papa!" Mia squealed as Victor pushed her on the swings, her laughter drawing a rare smile from him. Isabella watched from a nearby bench, struck by how different Victor looked away from his empire, almost human, his love for his daughter softening the hard edges of the man known as the Razor. Victor caught her staring and held her gaze, something unspoken passing between them. Then his expression changed, eyes sharpening as he scanned the tree line beyond her. "Get down!" he shouted, lunging toward Isabella just as the first shot rang out. Glass shattered behind them as the bullet hit a nearby lamppost. Victor tackled Isabella to the ground, shielding her with his body as chaos erupted. His security team returned fire while scrambling toward them, but it was Isabella who moved with unexpected precision. Rolling from beneath Victor, she pulled a small pistol from her ankle holster and fired 3 shots toward the distant tree line. A cry of pain confirmed her aim was true. "Get Mia!" she ordered, already moving to flank the attacker's position. Victor stared for just a moment before sprinting to his daughter, scooping her up and rushing her to the bulletproof SUV. His men followed Isabella's lead, surrounding the would-be assassin within minutes. Back at the mansion, after ensuring Mia was safe with her nanny, Victor confronted Isabella in his office. "You want to explain why my sister-in-law handles a weapon like a professional?" His voice was deceptively calm. "Those weren't lucky shots." Isabella's mask of normalcy had slipped, revealing something harder beneath. "I told you I had to protect myself after the threats. That was military training, special forces, if I had to guess." Victor stepped closer. "Who are you really working for?" For a moment, Isabella seemed to consider lying, then sighed. "I served 4 years, Marine Corps. After Elena died and I was threatened, I used those skills to disappear." "And the burner phone calls?" Victor asked, his face unreadable. Isabella's breath caught. "You've been watching me." "Of course I have." His eyes burned into hers. "I protect what's mine." The possessive statement hung between them, charged with meaning neither was ready to acknowledge. That night, Mia's terrified screams woke the household. Both Victor and Isabella raced to her room, finding her thrashing in the grip of a nightmare. "Mama, Papa," she cried, reaching for them both. They sat on either side of her bed, their hands meeting as they soothed her. The touch lingered, neither pulling away as Mia settled back to sleep. "Thank you," Victor said quietly, "for protecting her today." "Always," Isabella replied without thinking. Their faces drew closer in the dim light. the tension between them shifting into something different, something dangerous. Just as their lips nearly touched, Victor's phone buzzed with an urgent security alert. Outside in the darkness, a camera lens captured the intimate moment through the bedroom window, evidence being gathered by unknown eyes. You've seen how high the stakes are now, but this is just the beginning. What happens next will change everything. Subscribe now and stay with us. You won't want to miss what's coming. Can you walk away now, knowing you've come this far? Walk away now, knowing you've come this far? The alley behind Romano's Deli was deserted, except for one dark sedan. Isabella slipped inside, coming face to face with Agent Thomas Reed, a man whose perpetual frown had deepened since their last meeting. "You've been in Moretti's house for nearly a week," Reed said, tapping impatiently on his steering wheel. "Yet I've received nothing useful." Isabella tensed. "I need more time. He's cautious, keeps his business separate from home." "Time isn't a luxury we have." Reed pulled out his phone, showing her a photo of her with Mia. "Playing happy families now? Don't forget why you're there. Victor Moretti is responsible for at least 12 deaths, money laundering across 3 states, and possibly your sister's murder. I'm not convinced he killed Elena anymore." The words escaped before she could stop them. Reed's eyes narrowed. "We had a deal. You get inside, find evidence linking Moretti to his crimes, and in exchange, we protect you from whoever threatened you after Elena's death." A memory flashed, FBI agents approaching her after she'd fled, offering protection if she helped build their case against Victor. She'd agreed, desperate and afraid. "I'll get what you need," she said coldly. Back at the mansion, Victor waited for her by the door, his face unreadable. "Afternoon shopping trip?" The lie formed on her lips, but died unsaid. Something was shifting between them, making dishonesty feel heavier. "I needed space to think." A partial truth. Victor studied her face. "Come with me. There's somewhere we need to visit." The cemetery was peaceful, autumn leaves drifting over marble headstones. Victor led Isabella to a simple yet elegant monument. "Elena Catalina Moretti," Isabella read, her voice cracking. Victor placed white roses beside the headstone. "I come every week. Mia used to before she stopped speaking." "The FBI says you were responsible," Isabella admitted, watching his reaction carefully. "That your business got her killed." Instead of rage, deep sorrow crossed his face. "I loved her. But she discovered something in the organization's accounts, irregularities. She was going to tell me the night she died." Isabella's world tilted. "You think someone in your organization killed her to keep her quiet?" "I've been hunting for the truth ever since." His eyes met hers, vulnerability and determination mingling. "That's why I need to know. Are you working with the authorities, Isabella?" The moment stretched between them, truth hanging in the balance. "Yes," she finally whispered. "The FBI approached me after I received the threats. They offered protection if I helped them build a case against you." She expected anger, perhaps violence. Instead, Victor simply nodded, as if confirming a suspicion. "And now?" he asked quietly. "Where do your loyalties lie?" "You feel it, don't you? The weight of Isabella's choice, the unexpected truth about Victor. Your heart is already invested in what happens next. Subscribe now to follow this journey of dangerous choices and unexpected feelings. You've come too far to turn back now." Dawn broke over the Moretti estate as Victor paced his office, Isabella seated across from him. The confession of her FBI connection should have earned her a bullet, not this strange, tense strategy session. "You're not what I expected," Victor finally said. "I expected a monster," Isabella admitted. "The FBI files paint you as ruthless, cruel. But with Mia, with your men, you're something else." "I am what I need to be." His eyes locked with hers. "Now we use this FBI connection to our advantage." Isabella leaned forward. "What do you mean?" "Someone in my organization betrayed Elena, possibly works with the Cabreras. We'll feed your agent Reed carefully crafted information while searching for the traitor." "You want me to be a triple agent?" Isabella asked incredulously. I want us to find justice for Elena, Victor replied, intensity radiating from him. Together. The plan was dangerous, built on fragile trust. Isabella would provide Reed with selected information about Victor's operations, real enough to maintain credibility, controlled enough to protect vital interests. Meanwhile, they would watch who reacted to leaked information, hunting the traitor in their midst. That afternoon, Victor summoned his captains to announce Isabella's official role as his daughter's guardian and his personal assistant. The position gave her legitimate access to his schedule, his home, his life. Dante's objections came swiftly. Boss, with all respect, we know nothing about her background. I know everything I need to know, Victor replied with finality, his hand resting possessively on Isabella's shoulder. Later, working side by side in his study, the boundaries between them blurred. Their fingers brushed as they exchanged documents. Their eyes met over shared discoveries about Elena's final days. The shared mission created unexpected intimacy. She called you the night she died, Victor said softly. What exactly did she say? That she found financial records showing money disappearing from your legitimate businesses, large amounts being diverted somewhere she couldn't trace. Victor's jaw tightened. That matches discrepancies I've found since her death. Someone's been skimming millions, disguising it as operational costs. Their partnership deepened as days passed. Isabella's reports to Reed were carefully constructed half-truths, while her connection to Victor and Mia grew stronger, more genuine. Guilt gnawed at her with each FBI meeting. One night, Reed handed her a flash drive. Plant this in Moretti's computer. It'll give us access to his files. Isabella hesitated. I need more time. Time's up, Reed snapped. Do this, or I pull your protection and expose you. The next morning, Isabella pulled Victor aside. The Cabrera warehouse on Porter Street. The FBI is raiding it tonight based on information from someone inside your organization. Victor's eyes widened. That warehouse holds evidence connecting the Cabreras to 3 murders. If the FBI seizes it first, your leverage against them disappears, Isabella finished. Someone wants that to happen. Victor made a quick call, ordering the evidence moved immediately. When news broke of a failed FBI raid that evening, Victor looked at Isabella with new appreciation. You chose a side, he said quietly. I chose the truth, she replied, holding his gaze. The flash drive remained hidden in her pocket, her decision still unmade. You've witnessed Isabella's impossible choice now, caught between duty and growing feelings, between justice and betrayal. The line between right and wrong blurs with every moment they spend together. Don't leave their fate hanging in the balance. Subscribe now and stay with them through the dangers ahead. 3 weeks into their unlikely partnership, Isabella found Victor on the terrace at midnight, staring out over his domain, glass of whiskey untouched beside him. You should be sleeping, she said, stepping into the moonlight. Victor didn't turn. So should you. Something had shifted between them, a tension neither acknowledged, growing stronger each day they worked together, each moment they shared with Mia. We need to talk about this, Isabella finally said. About what? Victor asked, though his tone suggested he knew exactly what she meant. This. She gestured between them. Whatever is happening here, it's impossible. Victor turned then, his eyes reflecting the moonlight. Is it? You're no longer just a FBI informant. I'm no longer just your target. I'm still working with the FBI, Isabella reminded him. You're still a criminal they want to bring down. And yet here we are. Victor stepped closer, his presence sending her pulse racing. Allies. Perhaps something more. Isabella backed away. We can't. Reed wants that flash drive planted. He's getting suspicious. Let him suspect. Another step closer. We both know where your loyalty lies now. The electricity between them was undeniable, dangerous. Isabella placed her hand against his chest, meaning to push him away. Instead, her fingers curled into his shirt. This can only end badly, she whispered. The tension broke like a storm. Victor's mouth found hers, hungry and certain. Isabella's resistance crumbled as she returned his kiss with equal fervor, years of loneliness and fear melting in the heat between them. They broke apart at the sound of small footsteps. Mia stood in the doorway, rubbing sleepy eyes. "Mama? Papa?" she asked, looking from Isabella to Victor. The familial words hung in the air between them, a dream neither had dared imagine. "Come here, princess," Victor said softly, lifting his daughter. Isabella moved beside them, completing a picture that felt simultaneously perfect and impossible. Later that night, Dante cornered Victor outside his office, his face tight with concern. "We found something on Isabella." Dante handed over a folder containing photos of her meeting Reed. "She's FBI, Victor. She's been playing you." Victor studied the photos, his face revealing nothing. "You had her followed." "For your protection," Dante insisted. "She's betraying you." Victor's hand shot out suddenly, grabbing Dante by the throat. "Like you betrayed Elena?" Dante's eyes widened with shock as Victor continued. "The financial records Isabella found? They had your signature. You've been stealing from me for years. She's manipulating you," Dante gasped, "making you see enemies everywhere." Victor released him. "Leave my sight. We'll discuss your future tomorrow." Meanwhile, Reed sent Isabella an ultimatum by text. 48 hours to deliver actionable evidence, or your protection ends. The impossible choice has arrived. Will Isabella betray the man she's falling for, or risk everything for a dangerous future together? You've witnessed their hearts collide. Can you really stop watching now, not knowing if love or betrayal wins? Subscribe to see if their forbidden connection survives the truth that's about to be revealed. Isabella crept through the darkened east wing, Mia safely asleep and Victor in a late meeting with his lieutenants. Her heart hammered against her ribs as she slipped into Dante's office. If her suspicions were correct, proof of his betrayal, and possibly Elena's murder, would be here. The flash drive Reed gave her weighed heavy in her pocket. Plant it in Victor's computer to betray him, or use it to save him. Her choice was made. Dante's computer yielded nothing, but a loose floorboard beneath his desk revealed a hidden compartment containing a locked metal box. Her pics made quick work of it, revealing offshore account details and correspondence with the Cabrera family going back 5 years. Elena had discovered his betrayal and paid with her life. A folded note confirmed everything, details of a modified brake line, the curve on Mountain Road where Elena's accident would occur, and payment confirmation. Isabella's hands shook with rage and vindication. "Looking for something?" Isabella whirled to find Dante in the doorway, gun aimed at her heart, his usually composed face twisted with hatred. "You couldn't leave it alone," he said. "Just like your sister." Isabella stood slowly. "Elena found out you were stealing from Victor, working with the Cabreras. She was going to ruin everything." Dante's finger twitched on the trigger. "Now you'll join her." "Victor knows," Isabella said, playing for time. Dante's smile chilled her. "By morning, Victor will be grieving 2 women he loved. How tragic that Elena's sister went mad with grief, attacked me, and had to be eliminated." Isabella lunged as he approached, years of military training taking over. She managed to knock the gun aside, but Dante was stronger. A vicious blow to her head sent her crashing into the desk. As darkness closed in, she saw him retrieve a phone. "It's me. I have a problem that needs cleaning up." Victor checked his watch, concern growing. Isabella should have texted confirmation of Mia's bedtime routine by now. "Boss!" Marco burst into the room. "East Wing security cameras are down." Cold fear gripped Victor as he pulled up Isabella's phone location on his tablet. The dot pulsed from Dante's office before suddenly disappearing offline. "Find her," he ordered, already moving. "Now!" Dante's office was empty, the hidden compartment exposed, papers scattered. A single drop of blood on the hardwood floor confirmed Victor's worst fear. His phone rang, an unknown number. Moretti. The voice was familiar but unexpected. "Agent Reed, FBI. We have a mutual problem." Victor's grip tightened. "Isabella." "My agent missed her check-in. Her last message indicated she found evidence linking your second-in-command to your wife's murder." "What do you want?" Victor asked, ice in his veins. "A deal. Help us build a case against Dante and the Cabreras. In exchange, certain aspects of your organization remain untouched. And Isabella? Full immunity, if we find her alive. The if hung between them like a death knell. I don't need your permission to find her, Victor said coldly. No, Reed agreed, but you'll need help to keep her alive afterward. Dante has connections in places even you don't. Victor stared at the blood on the floor, remembering Isabella's kiss, the way Mia called her mama. Find her, Reed pressed, then we talk terms. The choice between vengeance and justice, between his empire and the woman who'd changed everything, crystallized in that moment. I'll call you when I have her, Victor said, ending the call. He opened his safe, retrieving the gun he'd hoped never to use again. For Isabella, he would return to the man he'd been before, the man they called the Razor. Victor faces the ultimate choice between his empire and the woman who's captured his heart. The hunt for Isabella begins, but time is running out. Can love survive in a world built on violence and revenge? Subscribe now to witness the dangerous rescue mission that will change everything. The warehouse on the abandoned pier had once been a hub for Victor's shipping operations. Now it served Dante's treachery. Victor crouched behind stacked crates with his most loyal men, studying the building's layout one final time. 4 guards outside, unknown number inside, Marco reported. Our informant confirms Isabella is being held in the back office. Alive? The word came out rougher than Victor intended. Marco nodded. Dante wants information before he stopped, seeing the darkness cross Victor's face. We move in 5 minutes, Victor said. Dante is mine. Inside that warehouse, Isabella fought against her restraints, blood trickling from her split lip. The ropes binding her wrists had frayed slightly against the metal chair's rough edge, not enough to break, but enough to give her hope. Your FBI friends can't help you now, Dante said, examining a wicked-looking knife. And Victor? He's too blinded by grief over his poor missing Isabella to notice I'm taking control of his operation tonight. Isabella spat blood onto the concrete floor. You killed Elena because she discovered you were stealing from Victor and working with the Cabreras. She should have minded her business, Dante shrugged, like you should have. But no, the Catalina sisters just can't help themselves, can they? Victor will hunt you to the ends of the earth, Isabella promised. Dante laughed. Victor is attending an emergency meeting with the Rossi family right now, a meeting that doesn't exist. By the time he realizes it's a trap, my men will have eliminated his loyal captains. A muffled explosion rocked the building. Dante froze. What was... Gunfire erupted outside the office. Isabella seized her moment, throwing her weight backward to shatter the chair. Pain lanced through her as wood splintered, but her hands came free. Dante turned with his gun raised just as Isabella lunged for the knife he'd left on the table. They collided violently, the blade slicing across Dante's arm as they grappled. The door burst open. Victor stood framed in the entrance, gun aimed with deadly precision. "Step away from her," he commanded, voice colder than Isabella had ever heard it. "You're too late," Dante snarled, using Isabella as a shield. "I've already sent the order. Your captains are dead by now." "Your information was wrong," Victor replied. "I've known about your betrayal since Isabella found the evidence. My men were never where you expected them to be." Isabella caught Victor's subtle glance toward the table. Understanding flashed between them. She suddenly went limp in Dante's grip, dropping her weight as Victor fired. The bullet caught Dante in the shoulder, sending him staggering backward. Isabella spun free, grabbing the knife and plunging it into Dante's leg. He howled, collapsing as Victor closed the distance between them. "This is for Elena," Victor said, pressing his gun to Dante's forehead. "Victor, wait!" Isabella gasped. "We need him alive. For justice, real justice." Their eyes locked, a silent communication passing between them. Slowly, Victor lowered his weapon. "Bind him," he ordered Marco. "The FBI will want what he knows about the Cabreras." As adrenaline faded, Isabella's injuries caught up with her. The room spun, darkness creeping at the edges of her vision. The last thing she felt was Victor catching her as she collapsed. "I've got you," he whispered. "I've got you." Victor chose justice over vengeance for Isabella. Their bond has grown stronger through fire and blood, but the danger isn't over. Can they build a future together after all they've endured? Subscribe now to see if their love can heal the wounds of their past. Morning light filtered through curtains in an unfamiliar room. Isabella blinked awake to find herself in a luxurious bedroom that wasn't part of the Moretti mansion. Her body ached with every movement, bandages wrapped around her ribs and forearm. "You're safe." Victor's voice came from nearby. He sat in a chair beside the bed, looking like he hadn't slept in days. "Lake house, my personal property. Off the books." "Mia?" Isabella asked immediately. "With Maria, her nanny. They're in the next room." Victor moved to sit beside her on the bed, his fingers gently brushing her hair back. "You've been unconscious for almost 20 hours. Isabella tried to sit up, wincing. "Dante?" "In FBI custody. Reed is keeping his word so far. In exchange for my testimony against the Cabreras and evidence of Dante's crimes, he's offering immunity for both of us." The tenderness in Victor's touch was new, the careful restraint gone, replaced by open concern. "You came for me," Isabella whispered. "I will always come for you." The simple declaration held weight beyond its words. Vulnerability shone in Victor's eyes as he took her hand. "When I saw your blood in Dante's office, I realized something. My empire. My power. None of it matters without you." Isabella's heart raced. "Victor, let me finish." His thumb traced circles on her palm. "I've lived in darkness so long I forgot what light felt like. Then you came into our lives and suddenly Mia was speaking again, and I was feeling again." Isabella reached up to touch his face. "I came to destroy you, to get justice for Elena, but everything changed when I saw who you really are." "And what am I?" "A good father, a loyal friend, a man capable of choosing justice over vengeance." Her eyes held his. "A man I'm falling in love with." Victor bent to kiss her, gentle with her injuries yet unmistakably passionate. When they parted, both were breathless. "What happens now?" Isabella asked. "Your organization can burn for all I care," Victor said firmly. "I've been moving money into legitimate businesses for years. It's time to complete that transition for Mia's sake, for our sake." Isabella confessed everything then. The full extent of her deal with the FBI, the pressure Reed had put on her, her growing doubts about their methods. "I should have trusted you sooner," she said. Victor shook his head. "We both had our secrets. What matters is where we go from here." As evening fell, Victor brought Mia to see Isabella. The little girl climbed carefully onto the bed, curling against Isabella's good side. "Aunt Bella hurt?" she asked worriedly. "I'm getting better, sweetheart," Isabella assured her. "Stay with us now?" Mia asked, her small face serious. Isabella looked at Victor, who waited for her answer with barely concealed hope. "Yes," she promised. "I'm staying." Later, after Mia was asleep, Victor and Isabella planned their future. Testimony against the Cabreras, immunity agreements, new identities if necessary. Their hands remained intertwined, neither wanting to break contact. "We could go anywhere after this," Victor said. "Start fresh." Outside in the darkness, a figure observed the lake house through binoculars. The tracker placed on Victor's car had led straight to their sanctuary. Dante's loyal lieutenant reached for his phone. "Found them," he whispered. "Moretti, the woman, and the kid. Isolated, minimal security." The reply came swiftly. "Take them all. Tonight." Victor and Isabella have found love amid the chaos, but danger hasn't finished with them yet. Will their newfound happiness be ripped away before it truly begins? Subscribe now to witness the final battle for their future together. The lake house windows shattered simultaneously, glass raining over Victor, Isabella, and Maria as they huddled around Mia at the dinner table. Night had fallen outside, concealing the attackers until their synchronized assault. "Get down!" Victor shouted, flipping the heavy oak table for cover as bullets tore through the room. Isabella's combat instincts surged despite her injuries. She pulled Mia under her body while scanning for escape routes. "Maria, stay down. Victor, your study." "Gun safe," he confirmed, already moving low toward the hallway. Outside, Engines roared as more vehicles approached. Through the broken windows, Isabella glimpsed laser sights sweeping the house interior. "Moretti!" a voice called out. "Come out or we burn the place with everyone inside." Isabella recognized the voice. Russo, Dante's most loyal lieutenant, the man who'd helped murder Elena. "Service entrance," Victor whispered upon returning, passing Isabella a pistol. "Through the kitchen, behind the pantry, hidden tunnel leads to the boathouse." Isabella nodded, clutching Mia, who trembled against her. "You first with Mia and Maria." "We go together," Victor insisted. They crept toward the kitchen, staying low beneath windows. Just as hope flickered, the back door exploded inward. 3 armed men stormed in, forcing them back toward the main room. "Found them!" one shouted. Maria screamed as gunfire erupted. Victor shoved the nanny aside, returning fire and dropping one attacker, but not before taking a grazing shot to his shoulder. Chaos followed. Isabella pushed Mia behind a couch, engaging the second man while Victor struggled with the third. Her injuries slowed her reflexes just enough. The attacker knocked her gun away, grabbing her by the throat. "Mama!" Mia cried from her hiding place, drawing Russo's attention as he entered through the front. "The kid," Russo smiled coldly, moving toward Mia. "No." Isabella broke free, throwing herself between Russo and Mia. Russo aimed his gun at Isabella's heart. "Step aside or die first." "You want Victor's empire?" Isabella challenged. "You need leverage. Take me." "Isabella, don't," Victor warned, still struggling with his attacker. Russo considered, then nodded. "You first, then the kid." As he reached for Isabella, Mia darted out, biting Russo's hand. He cursed, grabbing the child roughly. "Bad choice," he snarled, holding Mia against him, gun to her small head. Victor froze, hands raised. "Let her go. This is between us." "Drop your weapon," Russo demanded. Without hesitation, Victor complied, kicking his gun away. Isabella stood paralyzed, watching Mia's terrified face. "I've waited years for this," Russo said. "Dante planned everything. Elena's death, framing you, taking control. He promised me half when it was done." As Russo gloated, distant sirens wailed, growing closer. "Seems we have company." Russo's expression hardened. "New plan. We're leaving with the kid. Try to follow, she dies." Just as all seemed lost, headlights flooded the room from outside. "FBI, drop your weapons." Mia's life hangs in the balance as enemies close in from all sides. Will Victor and Isabella survive this night of terror? Subscribe now to witness the final confrontation that will decide their fate. Agent Reed led the FBI team, storming the property, their tactical lights cutting through darkness. The lake house became a battlefield, Russo's men firing at federal agents while using furniture as cover. Victor, Isabella, and Mia remained trapped in the middle, the little girl still held hostage by Russo. "Federal agents!" Reed shouted. "Drop your weapons!" Russo sneered, pressing his gun harder against Mia's temple. "Back off or the kid dies." The standoff froze everyone in place. FBI agents with weapons trained, Russo's remaining men scanning for escape routes, Victor calculating odds with cold precision. "How did they find us?" Isabella whispered. "Tracking device," Victor realized. "They followed us here." Reed stepped forward cautiously. "Let the child go, Russo. The property is surrounded." "Then I have nothing to lose," Russo countered. Isabella caught Victor's subtle glance toward the overturned table. Their silent communication, perfected through weeks of partnership, needed no words. She inched sideways, drawing Russo's attention while Victor's hand moved slowly toward a hidden knife in his boot. "Take me instead," Isabella offered. "Let Mia go." Russo laughed. "You think I'm stupid?" "I think you're desperate," she replied, taking another step, "and making mistakes." In that momentary distraction, Victor launched the knife. It struck Russo's shoulder, not a killing blow, but enough to make him jerk backward. Mia bit his hand again and twisted free. Chaos erupted. Isabella lunged for Mia, shielding her with her body as gunfire resumed. Victor tackled Russo, their bodies crashing through the remaining window onto the deck outside. They fought viciously, exchanging blows at the lake's edge while FBI agents subdued the remaining attackers inside. "Isabella, get out now!" Reed ordered, pulling her toward the door. "Victor!" she protested. "We've got this," Reed insisted. "Get Mia to safety." Isabella hesitated, then carried Mia to an FBI vehicle. After settling the child with an agent, she doubled back toward the house, ignoring orders to stop. On the dock, Victor and Russo fought with desperate intensity. Blood streamed from Victor's reopened shoulder wound, but rage drove him forward. When Russo pulled a hidden blade, Victor barely dodged, the metal slicing across his ribs. "You helped kill Elena," Victor growled, landing a powerful blow. "You threatened my daughter." Russo stumbled backward. "Dante gave the orders. I just followed them." "Like you're following them now?" Victor advanced. "Dante's in custody. He can't protect you anymore." With a final surge of strength, Victor overpowered Russo, forcing him to his knees at the dock's edge. He could end it now. One push and justice for Elena would be complete. "Victor!" Isabella called from the shore. "Don't do it!" Victor held Russo's life in his hands. The man who helped murder Elena, who threatened Mia, who nearly destroyed everything. "He deserves to die," Victor said, voice raw with emotion. Isabella approached slowly. "Yes, but you deserve to live. With Mia, with me. Choose us, Victor." FBI agents surrounded them, weapons ready. Reed stepped forward. "Moretti, it's over." After an agonizing moment, Victor dragged Russo to his feet and shoved him toward Reed. "He's all yours. He'll testify about Dante, the Cabreras, all of it." Reed nodded with newfound respect. "Good choice." As agents handcuffed Russo, Reed turned to Victor and Isabella. "We need to talk about your future, both of you." "My testimony against Dante and the Cabreras," Victor said, pulling Isabella close. "Complete immunity for Isabella, and a new start for us." "It won't be easy," Reed warned, "but after tonight, I think we can make it work." Flashing lights reflected off the lake as Victor and Isabella held each other, bloodied but alive. The night had nearly taken everything, but something new waited on the horizon. Victor chose love over vengeance, but can a man with his past truly escape it? Will the authorities keep their word? Subscribe now to witness the final chapter of their journey from enemies to family. 6 months after the lake house battle, cherry blossoms drifted across Elena's grave. Victor stood beside Isabella, his hand steady in hers, while Mia carefully arranged fresh flowers beside the headstone. "She would be proud," Isabella said softly, "of both of you." Victor squeezed her hand, wedding band catching the spring sunlight. "And of you. She always wanted family above all else." They looked different now. Victor's expensive suits replaced with casual clothes, Isabella's vigilant posture relaxed. The weeks of testimony against Dante and the Cabreras had ended with justice served. Just yesterday they'd watched from the courtroom as Dante received his life sentence for Elena's murder. "Do you regret it?" Isabella asked, "walking away from everything you built?" Victor watched Mia, now chattering happily to the nanny nearby. "I built an empire of shadows. What we have now is real." Reed approached from the cemetery entrance, looking oddly out of place without his FBI jacket. His testimony supporting their immunity deal had cost him professionally, but he'd kept his word. "The paperwork is finalized," he informed them. "New identities, clean records, overseas accounts verified. You're officially ghosts." "Thank you," Isabella said sincerely. Reed nodded, eyes lingering on Mia. "She looks happy." "She is," Victor confirmed. "We all are." After Reed departed, they walked to their waiting car. Victor's legitimate businesses, real estate, technology, hospitality, had thrived under new management while providing the foundation for their fresh start. What remained of his criminal empire had been systematically dismantled, either by law enforcement or rival families. Back at their temporary home, Isabella found Victor in his office, finalizing details for their departure. "Barcelona first," he said as she wrapped her arms around him from behind. "Then wherever we want. The house overlooking the Mediterranean is ready." Isabella kissed his neck. "Does it feel strange, leaving everything behind?" "Not everything." Victor turned, drawing her close. "I'm taking what matters most." That evening they sat together on the patio, watching Mia play. The little girl who had once been silent now bubbled with words, her laughter filling spaces once occupied by fear. "Mama! Papa! Look!" She pointed excitedly at a butterfly landing on her outstretched finger. Isabella still marveled at how naturally the parental titles had settled between them. Their courthouse wedding had been simple, but Mia's joy at officially becoming a family had made it perfect. "Ready for our adventure tomorrow?" Victor asked his daughter. Mia nodded enthusiastically. "Airplane, new home!" Later, as they finished packing, Isabella found the photo of Elena with baby Mia. She placed it carefully in their luggage, a reminder of where they began, not where they were heading. "She brought us together," Victor said, watching from the doorway. Even after she was gone. "Family," Mia declared sleepily from her bed across the room, using the word that had become her favorite. Isabella smiled through tears. "Yes, sweetheart. Family." The three of them, bound by loss and love, would board a plane at dawn. Their past couldn't be erased, but their future was theirs to write, together. Victor and Isabella's journey from enemies to family shows how love can heal even the deepest wounds. Their story has ended. But so many others are waiting to be told. If you've felt every moment of their pain, joy, and triumph, subscribe now to experience more stories that will capture your heart and remind you that second chances are always possible. Don't miss out on the next unforgettable journey. It begins with one click.